It's Jim Clarke here from the Apprentice Academy. I'm down here today with Phil Jones, who is the UK Managing Director for Brother UK, one of Manchester's iconic businesses. And we're down here to speak to Phil about a little bit about his life, his career and how he's achieved success, so we can get that message out to young people and hopefully inspire young people in Manchester to go on and do something with their lives as well. So welcome to the interview.
Thanks very much, Jim. Great to be here.
Yeah, fantastic. So my first question really is just to sort of open it up, is just to find out a little bit about your career and where it started actually.
Crikey, okay. Well, I mean, I've been here at Brother for nearly 20 years actually. I joined here in 1994.
Right, okay.
But when I left school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do at all. In fact, I was a bit of a failure at school.
Right, okay.
I flunked all my exams the first time round. My mum made me stay on another year. In sixth form.
Okay.
I scraped through and managed to then get enough to go to college for a couple of years, where I did a course in business studies for 2 years. After that, I just stumbled in a summer job to working in a pub, and I eventually stayed in that pub and then started to move around pubs in the southeast of England for about 4 or 5 years. And it was hard work, it was long hours, and you kind of get wedded to working in pubs. But I decided it wasn't for me anymore, because I was working in a massive pub in the East End of London, and we had all sorts. It was like living an episode of EastEnders. It was so exciting. We had people with guns. There was drug dealing. We were robbed. We were set on fire. And I just remember getting up one day and going, I'm not paid enough for this.
Yeah.
I took the tube to London, I walked down the Tottenham Court Road, and the first door I walked into was a recruitment consultant, and I just said, find me a new job.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we've got a job working in sales, would you like to do that? So I said, all right then, and that's what started my career in sales. So I did a few years working for a number of different companies in training, and then that eventually led me to Brother in 1994.
Fantastic. So yeah, here we are. By the way, today we're in the creative room, aren't we?
Correct, yes. This room is called the Think Tank.
The Think Tank. And this is where people can come in, Brother, to share ideas and come up with some new ideas as well.
For sure.
Yeah, I love it. Maybe we'll get one in our office, hey? So it was 1994 when you first started your career at Brother UK. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how it's developed?
No problem. Well, I joined as a fax salesman, who many of your readers may not even understand what a fax machine is nowadays, but I joined in 94 as a white-socked fax salesman, driving a white Cavalier and selling to dealers at the time, back then. And very quickly I realised I was quite good at it. And within 3 months of me joining, the guy that employed me left to go and join one of our big competitors at the time, a company called Sharp.
Okay.
So the MD at the time said, do you think you can step up into that job? And I think that was kind of, for me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Step up. So I stepped up, even though I didn't know really what to do or wasn't necessarily sure I had the capabilities, and I stepped up. And then I made some success out of that, and we made the numbers, and we grew and we grew and we grew, up to the point where I sort of was promoted probably every couple of years. And in 2001, when I was 33, I was appointed a non-executive director for the company, which for a big, large multinational like Brother was unheard of.
Yeah.
I was 33 at the time, and that was brilliant. So 2 years later, that was sales director. 2 years later, I was appointed to the board of directors of the company, which was a kind of another big step, really. It's only a kind of a word, but it was a bit daunting. So by 33, I was on the board of directors, and I eventually was appointed managing director about a year ago, which was an amazing feeling for me, because I never thought I would ever walk through these doors and be MD of the company one day. That was just a dream come true.
Definitely. I mean, that's a great story for young people out there, really. And it's interesting you talked about school and said that maybe you didn't sort of excel in school. And I just think it's so interesting how many people that ultimately have become really successful, that's the case. It was more of they were practical people that wanted to learn and be out there working, really.
Yeah.
So, because I think sometimes there's this young people out there are thinking, well, I didn't do very well at school, that means I'm doomed to never be successful in life, and that's completely wrong. And I think these sort of stories are so important because it can maybe give them that inspiration.
The reality is that I think regardless of your education, if you can display the right attitude to an employer, they can look beyond that. And I'm living proof that you don't need to be academic to be the managing director of a large company.